Service plans, service agreements, whatever you want to call them, building recurring revenue streams for your business makes your business so much more valuable. So we decided to build that as a feature into Payaca to make it easy for you to create and manage those service plans. Whether you're carrying out an annual boiler service, a pool service, or even an annual electrical check, there are a wide variety of applications here, and I'm sure there's something that may work for your business, so it's worth exploring. We have added the service plans feature into Payaca. This is very much a first version, so it will be iterated on, but it does allow you to very easily create a service plan, add the details, and I'm going to walk you through that in a minute, and then add customers to those plans and manage the commitments that you make. If you're already doing work on a recurring basis, but each time you have to go out to the customer to essentially win that job, you're missing a trick, because you could just get them onto a service plan, take payment in the same way, but have it more guaranteed, because it's either taken via direct debit or perhaps a card payment option. So you can offer either. Most people I know have set up service plans in an underlying payment service called Go Cardless. Payaca uses Stripe because now they offer a variety of payment methods. So if you just want to offer a direct debit payment, you can do that. If you want to offer card payment, if you want to offer both, you can do that. So let's start by creating a plan. So this is where you add a catchy plan name. So this is how it's described to the customer. This is what the customer will see here. So let's give it a name. Okay, so I've called my service the Super Boiler Service, but this for your industry could be anything. I've described it, so this is what the customer will see as the description. So I'm going to add my terms and conditions for all the small print, but it's important to sell it in a way that is clear to the customer and perhaps allows you to offer different service plans. So in this plan, I've got various things that it includes and various things that it doesn't include, and I've added a couple of emojis in there. Then I need to attach my terms and conditions, typically as a PDF, so the customer agrees to these when they sign up to your plan, and it also gets emailed to you. So I've attached my terms and conditions. Then this section is important. So how often do you carry out the work related to this? Is it every year or every month? And that may not be one thing, it could be multiple things. So you could create multiple templated bookings or multiple tasks that you might need to do as part of this service to help you manage it. But what's the frequency? Is it every month or is it every year? So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to say it's an annual boiler service. Now you get the option to choose price points. So you can either set a monthly price and or a annual price. So if you just want the customer to pay you on an annual basis, when they subscribe to the plan, they'll get asked to pay then, and then it'll automatically take the funds next year. If you want to allow them to spread the cost, maybe you offer two different prices. So it might be £20 a month, and like typically you might offer an annual discount, and so it's like the equivalent of 10 months. So it's £200 for the year, and they can make their choice. But if you just want to take the money up front, you just want the annual option, just fill in that number, leave the other one blank. Payment method, so you can choose to configure it to say I only want to offer card or I only want to offer direct debit. This is where the management of service plans comes in, commitments. So you can create events with tasks. So this could be a boiler service booking and the task to complete the boiler service form. We'll do that as a simple example. But you could have any number of bookings, any number of tasks. So this is the maximum number that I have agreed to as part of this service plan. And then as these tasks and events are getting checked off and done within the Payaca system, you know that that subscription agreement with the customer has been complete for that period. So let's just add that in. So we're going to add in the boiler service. Bear in mind, these are just templates, so you can remove them for a service period if you've said, oh, I will do 5 visits, but I actually only needed 3, so you can remove what's needed. But we're going to keep this very simple to start off with. So we're just going to call it a boiler service. I can add any attachments there. So I want to then add the boiler service record form, because that's the task that needs to get carried out each year as part of this offering. So I could add a checklist of things that need to be done, but in this case, I'm just going to keep it very simple. So I've created that task. So I've now got that commitment that I've made as part of the service plan is to carry that out. So this is about the management of it within Payaca. So I filled all that in, so I can now save that plan. So now you can see there, I've created the super boiler service. I've not got any subscribers yet. The MRR, or monthly recurring revenue, it's an important metric, tells you how much you get on average each month from this plan. We're going to add some fancy graphics at the top to give you an indication of what your total recurring revenue is, because this really tells you the value of your service plans over time. So I've got a couple of options. So I can just invite the customer, or if I want to, and this is not going to be right for every business, I can copy a public link, which means I can send that link to anyone. That means anyone can go to that link and sign up, only if I share it with them. Some people might want to publish that on their website. But let's go through an example if I want to invite a customer that I've already got in my database, because that keeps things a bit simpler. So I'm just going to search for the customer that I want. So I'm going to invite Mark Smith. So I've got the customer. This is the email that's going to go to Mark. You're invited to this boiler service plan. I'm going to send that. So that's been sent. So let's go and find that in the emails. So this is the email I've got. So I'm just going to click to view the invitation. So this is now the page that the customer sees. So they've been invited. This is the sign up form. So we are going to allow you to customize this with sort of custom banners a bit more, but ultimately this is the sign up page. So you might have something on your website that describes these different plans, but this is the page they come to when they're ready to sign up. So Mark Smith, you've been invited to subscribe to the Super Boiler service by Pro Plumbers. So it's got all the details as I laid out. I can download the full terms and conditions. Then I choose a price. So obviously if I've only offered an annual price, that would have been added. If I've only included a monthly, that's been added. But here I've got the choice. So I'm going to choose to go on the annual plan. I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions. And then it's going to give me my payment options. So I can either pay by direct debit, or I can pay by card. So I'm just going to do the card payment option. So I fill that in, I click pay now. So I, as the customer now, have received the confirmation that I've signed up. I can go in and manage the billing if I need to, and I've been sent a copy of the terms and conditions that I've agreed to. So now if I return to my service plans page, I can see for the Super Boiler service, I have one subscriber now. I have recurring revenue, monthly recurring revenue of £17. So that is just the 200 divided by 12, just rounded. And I can see the prices of that. So if I click on it, I can now see that Mark Smith is subscribed when he joined and is on an annual plan. So the next important thing is, like, how do I then manage those recurring commitments? So this is managed in the commitments section. So each time someone subscribes to a plan, they it depends whether it's on a monthly basis or an annual basis that the service is carried out. But these ones in green here are the service period for, in this example, that year that annual service is carried out. And I can see the start date and I can see the end date. In this scenario, it tells me that the boiler service has not been arranged yet. So in order to arrange it, I would then be booking in that service as part of the process. So that's going to pre-populate the information that I've already got saved. So let's say I book that one in which case it confirms, right, this is the event, this is the boiler service form that I need to do, this is when it's booked in for. When that is done, that would then say that service period is complete. Okay, so I've now completed the service form, which has ticked off that task in that service period for Mark Smith. So I now can't see that. I can apply the filter to see the one that's been completed. So I can see now that service period for Mark Smith has been completed. I can see, though, the next service period because I may have carried out that service and at the same time wanted to book for next year. So I could have opened the next service period that starts on the 31st of March, ends on the 31st of March 2025, and I could have arranged that and booked that in. So that is the service plan feature, how you create a service plan, how you invite customers to it, and how you manage those ongoing commitments. There's a lot more that will be developed around this feature, but this gives you a lot of power to create that recurring revenue stream in your business, which is so important. We showed one as a boiler service, but this is applicable in lots of different industries. Like we say, it could be electrical safety checks, it could be servicing swimming pools, it could be anything. And so I'd really encourage you to assess whether this is something that you can add to your business. So this feature is just being released, version 1, available on Payaca. Let us know if you're interested in trying it out. Thanks for listening.